The last time I evaluated the handle of the chicken house, it was the first time I made a handle. It's a pity when the big horizontal flat is over, because that time, Humping Chick was directly labeled as workpiece garbage in my heart. In recent months, I have received many private messages from classmates urging me to change my grip. Because I gave Xiao Ji a low rating last time, I was embarrassed to contact Xiao Ji, a few official free prostitutes, to test it. But what I didn't expect was that Xiao Ji even dared to come to me for evaluation. He was really a big gambling chicken who didn't remember his previous grievances. This Gamer Machine Xbox custom version was sent for testing 2 years after I finished spraying. Yes, this is again an officially authorized handle from Microsoft. So this time, can the small machine become famous in one battle? The moment I got the handle, I couldn't help but have a doubt. Isn't this the official Xbox controller? I quickly pulled out my Xbox controller. Compared with the lower exercise, as expected of a half-brother, it's normal to look like something, right? But if you look closely, you can still find a lot of differences. Because it is officially authorized by Microsoft, therefore, can only be a wired handle. Fortunately, the small machine designs the data cable as detachable for easy storage. In addition to supporting PC One, it also supports the native Xbox and Xbox Series platform. The handle shell adopts a magnetic suction method. The package also comes with a white face shell, which is very easy to replace. There will be more fancy noodles in the future. The first face shell is being designed. We can even pull the rocker cap off directly. This design provides everyone with more DIY space. However, you need to buy a rocker hat yourself. The bottom of the handle is equipped with an extremely advanced 3.5mm headphone jack. There is also a microphone button that can turn off the microphone with one click. The handle is held on the back, and the handle is coated with anti-slip texture. The processing texture is shallow, and the grip is very thick. At the same time, Xiao Ji also equipped this handle with 2 expansion buttons. All are relatively centered in the arrest position of the handle. The risk of quantity is still relatively large. Full score of 10. What do you think this appearance can be scored? Because there is no battery inside, the net weight of the handle is 226 grams held in the hand. It's a bit lighter than the XBOX series controller with a bad battery. If you use it for a long time, the handle is lighter, can also reduce wrist fatigue appropriately. In terms of buttons, the small machine adopts the scheme of mechanical buttons. The cross arrow is a pot slice plan. I have to praise the feel of ABXY here. It is really very comfortable. Although the micromotion scheme is adopted, there is not much difference between the construction and the conductive glue. The pressure level and feedback are also very good. It also does not cause fatigue after prolonged use. The D-pad also adds diagonal locking. When turned on, it can effectively avoid linking. The trigger of the handle is a Holtz induction linear trigger. The rebound force is still a bit light compared to the Xbox controller. But fortunately, when pressed, the force is evenly applied throughout the process. With triggers, compared with the intensity of motor vibration, its Xbox controller is much stronger. Next, let's take a look at the tuning of the small machine at the software level. You can download the phone directly from the Microsoft Store. The official app is like a joystick dead, shoulder circumference mapping trigger, built-in vibration strength and firmware upgrade functions, can be very convenient to train, but because it is a Microsoft authorized handle, it also does not support similar functions such as continuous reading. In order to facilitate players to set up and switch flights, build this kind of function commonly used in games, no connection required directly on the handle. App greatly improves the oil play experience. Players can also configure it according to different game settings. But unfortunately, it cannot be replaced directly on the handle. The configuration needs to be connected to the app to be replaced. This is a bit inconvenient. In terms of tuning the joystick, the default setting of the mini machine is to have a center point dead. But there is no cross to die. Everyday play. Traditional games are completely fine. If you play FPS games, you can turn off the center point in the app and die. You can see that after the setup is completed. In software testing, it can achieve the central point and completely do not die. But if you want to have no drift in the game, and if it's very silky, you still need to set up a little bit of death in the game. There is also a place that I personally feel is very good. That is, the player can die and increase the outer ring of the joystick by himself. In this way, even if the default tuning is more extreme, if there are games that need to go beyond the edges, situations that trigger a run can also be perfectly solved. The flight is a linear flight. There is no death that can be triggered by a light touch. But people like me in my hands, it may be due to the situation of accidental flight contact due to excessive concentration during the game. Personally, I feel that I can start to add a small amount of death at the press of the trigger. Or add a little more trigger force. You can avoid accidental touch. After all, even his brother is not so extreme. Although this small phone G7 is, in terms of appearance, feel and software tuning, they all did a very good job. But after all, the previous small machine had a history of poor workmanship. So I wasn't looking forward to its workmanship. Then comes the moment to witness the miracle. The workmanship of the small machine after disassembling it still makes my eyes shine. First of all, there is an action key. It adopts a 5-layer structure and a mouse-like micro switch. Add elastic wall microfocus plus plastic line trays plus colored keys. Heart plus black keycaps. It can only be said that small machine owners know how to stack buffs. There are 2 PCB motherboards inside the handle, with a thickness of 1.6 millimeters, subplate with a thickness of 1.2 millimeters. The waist bar is made of Alpine waist bar. The real feet of the waist bar are also welded. The handle motor adopts the same asymmetrical style as Spock's. The connection between the motor and the motherboard adopts the socket scheme. The trigger uses a Holtz induction trigger to remove the screw. The trigger hidden inside can also be seen. Motor. Unexpectedly, this time, the small machine is surprisingly solid in terms of internal workmanship. Can be said that, when you don't have too high expectations for the product, then the internal structure of all this is an unexpected joy. Generally speaking, this time the machine brought by Gigabyte Spock's custom version of the controller, whether it is external workmanship or internal materials, you can see their intentions. After 3 days of recognition, you should be impressed. Today's small machine has been successfully upgraded from the flower calling machine of the year. For the sake of wealth and honor, the action of being super willing to use materials, delicate triggers, vibrating magnetic replaceable face shell. There are also thoughtful software level optimizations. Can bring players a very good gaming experience. So this time the price of the small machine Xbox customized version of 269 yuan. Do you think it's reasonable?
You